window casings and just even solid doors.
Here it is.
Having that is
The
about
news about the coronavirus.
but then also we live on the second and third
That's right. The
in
news about the coronavirus.
just amazing, really.
You didn't just start a business. You created a community, and you will rebuild. Let us help you reconnect. Let's rebuild together. Get a free video and 20% off your TV advertising. Visit rebuild.spectrumreach.com to get started.
Looking for a silver lining to these dark clouds? Use them as a jumpstart to change your future. Go online with Stark State College and start a fast finishing certificate or a 2-year degree for an in-demand career. Even if you think online learning isn't for you, we're here to help you through. If you qualify for financial aid, you may even be able to do it for free. Visit starkstate.edu/online. That's starkstate.edu/online.
Our communities are driven by the businesses that keep us all moving. From helping you sell cars virtually to working side by side with auto dealers, we are dedicated to helping your business move forward. In a moment filled with unknowns, Spectrum Reach Automotive is facing this as we always do, with a commitment to the future of your business. We want to help protect your business, to help you plan for the future. Together, we will rebound. Head to spectrumreach.com/auto to let us know how we can help you.
We know your Ford is an essential part of your life.
Even if you're driving less right now, maintenance and service is still important.
That's why your local Ford dealership and their technicians are here to help.
We can pick up your vehicle, service it,
And then return it right to your driveway.
A fast, simple service appointment. And most importantly,
you don't need to leave.
Here it is.
Call your
The
local
news
Ford dealer
about
and
the
make an appointment
coronavirus.
today. We'll handle the rest.
That's right. The news about the coronavirus.
We know things have changed. And we know these are challenging times. But we know we will get through this. We know that we can overcome anything. We know that we can do it together. And we know that no matter what comes next, we will be here for you. Spectrum News 1. Exclusively on Spectrum.
Hello everyone, thank you for joining us here on Spectrum News 1. I'm Curtis Jackson. Let's get you up to date on the latest with the coronavirus pandemic. The head of Ohio's Medicaid program expects a dramatic rise in enrollment in the next couple of months. She says 100,000 more enrollments are likely by July 4th. The comments come a week after Governor DeWine announced a significant cut to the Medicaid budget. While Medicaid prepares to do more with less, the state health department is getting $12.4 million to fund coronavirus contact tracers. The state is hiring as many as 2,000 people to act as disease detectives. A return to shopping in Ohio has not meant a return to normal. Customers are being greeted with social distancing measures and building occupancy regulations at malls and department stores. And in Washington, infectious disease specialist Dr. Anthony Fauci tells a Senate committee opening public places too early could have disastrous consequences. Our continuing coverage of the pandemic continues in just a moment, but first, Monday is in the record books as having the coldest afternoon high in Dayton, Columbus, and Cincinnati. Temperatures didn't make it out of the 40s, but a huge turnaround is in store for the weekend with more summer-like temperatures. Here's a check of weather on the ones.
Here we go again, another frosty night tonight with frost advisories posted for a large part of the state. We'll dip into the 30s before we get a big jump in the temperature starting Thursday. Here's where those alerts are out from Chillicothe to Athens into southeastern Ohio, all the way up through Columbus, Toledo, Defiance, and northeastern Ohio under some freeze warnings in the Mahoning Valley where we could hover near that 32-degree mark. So you want to take precautions on the plants one more night. Then some big changes begin. We'll start to see a lot of sunshine tomorrow. We'll warm up into the 60s. Still not near normal yet, but we'll also see even more mild air push in with some clouds as we head into Thursday and Friday. We'll also be watching the threat for showers and thunder showers as temperatures climb. Here's some select city forecasts. You can see a bit more cloud cover in Cincinnati late in the day. Some increase in clouds in Dayton. Increasing temperatures. Cleveland even back into the middle 50s. We'll look for temperatures into the middle to upper 60s from Findlay to Zanesville. Low 60s with smatted clouds in Portsmouth. Your complete forecast on the ones and minutes.
On the same day that retail stores are opening back up across Ohio, 2 more industries are getting the green light to reopen later this week. Lieutenant Governor John Huston announcing during Tuesday's briefing that massage and tattoo businesses can open their doors Friday as long as they follow the proper safety protocols that are put in place. The governor stressed that as more industries come back to life, employees should continue to wipe down surfaces and social distance. Meanwhile, the lieutenant governor is stressing that even though the state is allowing business to open on certain dates, local officials can delay those openings or increase business standards.
Once we get to Friday, around 90+% of the Ohio economy will be open. And I want to reiterate, again, we said this from the very beginning. If you're a local health department or a mayor and you have concerns about either the pace of the openings or the standards, you can delay those openings or increase the requirements. You have that local authority to do that if there's a concern that you have, so you can go higher standards and later, but you can't go lower standards and earlier. And that's the general philosophy that we followed throughout the process. And a reminder, a final reminder, respect the employees who are working in these facilities. Remember, they have families too, and we have an obligation to keep each other safe.
Another note from Tuesday's briefing, the U.S. Department of Agriculture has approved Ohio's pandemic EBT plan. This will allow the Department of Job and Family Services to send about $300 to 850,000 Ohio children who receive SNAP benefits. As retail stores across the state officially reopen their doors, each store has implemented their own safety measures to keep staff and customers safe. Our Rachel Monjovi takes us to Northeast Ohio, where locally owned retailers are welcoming their customers back.
You can only come in this way. We don't want people having to cross traffic as they exit. We've put the marks down. We did put the sneeze guards in place.
Mike Leffler is the owner of Appalachian Outfitters in Peninsula. Tuesday, he officially reopened his store to the public after an almost 2-month shutdown.
A lot of this is temporary. I want the staff to feel comfortable with how things are flowing.
Leffler has put a number of safety measures in place for his staff and his customers. He's asking shoppers to wear masks before entering his store. He has 1 entrance and 1 exit. Floor markers remind people to stay 6 feet apart, and only 4 people can be in the footwear section at a time. He's limiting the store capacity to 25 people.
It really comes down to how safe we can make customers feel to get them to come in and buy things. And I think people are going to be very gun shy to go out.
Each staff member will get their temperature checked and go through a health assessment before their shift starts. In Hudson, Julie Pulowski has similar measures in place at her furniture store and design studio.
We're doing all of the normal protocols mandated, wearing our masks, and we have signage on the door to keep the distance, and we're limiting the customers in the store at one time just because we are a smaller space.
Pulowski is also requiring her customers to wear masks. She's rolling out a slow open by cutting back her hours.
We'll be open 4 days of the week instead of 6. We'll be open Thursday through Sunday. I think it will be a slow start. Everybody has been impacted financially through this.
Pulowski and Leffler both received assistance through the Paycheck Protection Program and other programs. They're confident they'll get by as long as their customers come back.
We're here because we love our community, and our community is really good at supporting us.
I'm feeling hopeful. It's going to really be on how well customers respond.
For Spectrum News, I'm Rachel Monjovi.
In partnership with Cleveland.com, this is Capital Letter. As almost 90% of Ohio's economy goes back online, how are you feeling about the decision to reopen the economy and the state's handling of the pandemic? Both questions, the subjects of some recent polls. Cleveland.com reporter Andrew Tobias joining me now to take a closer look. Andrew, it's good to see you.
It's good to see you, thanks.
Polls taken back in April showed that more than half of respondents did not think bars and restaurants should reopen May 1st. Now they're about to open May 15th. What is the public mood?
So a poll that was performed over the last week by Emerson University found a very narrow majority, 51% to 49%, said that they personally would go to a restaurant and visit it as long as proper safety precautions were followed. And that is a change from what we saw 2-3 weeks ago. And so it is it's very close. It's 51-49, and so it's within the poll's margin of error. So it's basically kind of a toss-up. But before, we saw a very clear response that people were not comfortable with reopening bars, restaurants, as well as a number of other types of businesses. So we have seen movement on this issue, and I guess it'll be interesting to see as people are actually confronted with the decision now that the bars or restaurants will be reopening soon, how those opinions might change.
All of these polls show a stark partisan divide, suggesting that Democrats and Republicans see the reopening of the state's economy and the safety of doing so differently.
Yeah, so in the poll I just mentioned, something like 70% of Republicans said that they would be personally comfortable going to a restaurant under those conditions, and only 27% of Democrats said that would be the case. And so there is this very large partisan divide on this issue, and we can speculate why. It could be they have different degrees of faith with the elected officials that are in charge and what party they are. They might have a different viewpoint from the community they live in and that kind of thing. But it is clear, it shows up again and again. It's not completely clear cut. There is still some, on the Republican side, some debate about the economy versus safety, but it is there. You see it in these numbers.
While Ohioans may be divided over the scope and handling of the pandemic, there seems to be some agreement over how the governor is handling both. How do Democrats and Republicans view Governor DeWine?
So then a different poll that was performed around the same time by the Washington Post and Ipsos is the name of the research firm, found that DeWine had 86% approval rating, which is just remarkable. And when you break it down by party, 84% of Republicans said they support him, and even more, 90% of Democrats said they supported him. And you just don't see things like that today in this world where there's a lot of partisan divides about our elected officials. It's just almost unanimous support from both parties, which is just really remarkable. And that's how you get approval ratings like that these days, is you consolidate Democrat support on top of, or the opposition party support on top of the one that you're in. So it really is interesting to see as a political reporter.
That same poll is also showing that states and voters are gravitating more toward their governors now.
Yeah, so the support for the president is mixed, and it's more what you see when you see these opinion polls where the president's approval rating varies in the 45 to 50% range and things along those lines. But the governors across the board, for the most part, were very popular. There were some exceptions. I mean, the lowest ranking governor in that poll out of the 12 states they looked at was the governor of Georgia. He was down at 39%. And by the way, Governor DeWine topped the list, like I said, at 86%. The next kind of tier was 81, 80% and stuff like that. But it's shown up a lot where you do see that people have a higher degree of faith and trust in their governors and their local elected officials as we're dealing with this crisis still.
All politics is local. Andrew, thank you.
Thank you.
Get tomorrow's headlines and analysis every morning by subscribing to Capital Letter just by going to cleveland.com/Capital Letter.
Temperatures dropping tonight with clear skies. That's going to set the stage for another bout of frost across many parts of the state, and already we have advisories out for a large part of Ohio. Here in the Northeast, we've got those frost advisories out for everywhere except for the Mahoning Valley. That's what we have freeze warnings in effect tonight. Basically, inland Ashtabula County, Mahoning, and Trumbull County under freeze warnings. That's where the actual temperature will get very close to the freezing mark. Elsewhere will be around 35, 36 degrees, but that's still cold enough for some frost. So some patchy frost to wake up again for us for Wednesday morning, but a good deal of sunshine. Temperatures will warm up nicely, especially away from the lake, but still an onshore flow tomorrow. So that will keep temperatures right along the lakeshore a little cooler. As we head toward the end of the week, all of us should push into the 70s, but all of us will have the chance for showers and storms beginning as early as Thursday. Still that cool northwest wind. We see where the clouds we had during the day, those are thinning out with high pressure building in. High pressure's been to the north and west of us, so that's kept that northwest wind. As we head through the day tomorrow, we'll start to pick up more of a southerly wind for most of the area. The lake's still going to have some impact near the lakeshore counties. That's why it'll be a little cooler. This is just the beginning of a push of milder air, but also a push of more moisture. Here we go hour by hour. You can see Mahoning Valley, that's where we're going to be cooler. Ashtabula, 32, 33 degrees, so that's where we'll see that freezing line. Elsewhere, just a little bit of frost. Nice push of mild air tomorrow by the afternoon. We're pushing into the 60s. See what happens with that onshore flow, though, along the lake. A little cooler minter over to Sandusky. We'll start to pick up some clouds tomorrow evening, and we'll also look for those clouds to thicken up with a chance of some showers by early Thursday morning. We'll hover near 50. No worries about frost tomorrow night. Some worries about showers and thunder showers, though, Thursday. Right now looking pretty unsettled. In fact, some of those storms could be pretty intense Thursday afternoon, go figure. All right, here's our Skycast. As you head out the door tomorrow morning, you'll need the jacket again. You likely won't need it in the afternoon, just maybe a long sleeve shirt as temperatures come back into the middle 50s. Might need the hoodie if you're walking near the lake, though, as it'll be cooler. Temperature should push up to about 56 in Cleveland, near 60 down toward Akron, Canton, and we will stay well above freezing tomorrow night, but clouds will start to increase. Temperatures will increase as well, soaring well into the 70s by the weekend. More on that, your 7-day forecast coming up in minutes. Right now, here's a live look at your radar.
House Democrats have released their latest coronavirus relief bill, and 2 teams launched their own face mask business by making masks from copper. We've got those stories coming up in the market wrap-up after the break. But first, here are some of the people doing their part to support local businesses across the state.
Ohio has always been a great place to live and work. And now, local businesses need our support more than ever. It's up to all of us to stay safe, order local, shop local, and keep Ohio strong. Because even though right now we have to keep our distance, in Ohio, we've never been closer.
Spectrum News One, a new kind of news channel dedicated to refreshing storytelling and empowering communities across the Buckeye State. With your local forecast every 10 minutes and all of the essential news you need 24/7. Plus, in-depth shows and exclusives focused on your community. Always Ohio, always refreshing, always on. We are Spectrum News One, exclusively on Spectrum.
Whether it's for my job or at home, I'm always working with my hands and fixing things. When tough jobs come my way, it's important to have a truck that can handle it. I drive all over the area for work, so the team at Sarshone Chevy showed me all the ways that the new 2020 Silverado would make my job easier. And it has all the right tools for my line. It's the strongest, most advanced Silverado ever.
Right now, lease a 2020 Silverado 1500 Custom Double Cab for $379 a month. Get your own at Sarshone.
At the Nation's Doctor, I often get asked, what should I do if I think I might have coronavirus? People who are sick should stay home. You don't go to an emergency room, you don't go to a clinic. Get on the phone and you ask for advice and instructions from your physician. We don't want you to go into the ER or the doctor's office without talking to them first, because you might spread coronavirus to someone else. Please visit coronavirus.gov for more information.
24/7. Plus, in-depth shows and exclusives focused on your community. Always Ohio, always refreshing, always on. We are Spectrum News One, exclusively on Spectrum.
Weather and the sky has always fascinated me, and I live with what I do. I come home, look at the weather forecast, and it's really a part of my life. It's not just a job, it is my passion. I'm Chief Meteorologist Eric Elwell. We have a very experienced weather team, and we know what's important to Ohioans as they make their plans every day, because we are part of the community. I'm Eric Elwell, Chief Meteorologist, Spectrum News One.
I'm Karina Mitchell. This is the market wrap-up. Wall Street ended the session lower as the Nasdaq gave up its winning streak. By the closing bell, the Dow dropped 457 points, the Dow slumped 189, and the S&P dropped 60 points. House Democrats have released their latest bill, estimated at over $3 trillion, designed to blunt the pandemic's devastating blow to the economy and healthcare system. Party leaders expect to vote on the almost 2,000-page package on Friday. The bill includes nearly $1 trillion in relief for state and local governments, a second round of direct payments of $1,200 per person and up to $6,000 per household, about $200 billion for hazard pay for essential workers, $75 billion for coronavirus testing and contact tracing, key to restarting business, an extension of the $600 per week federal unemployment insurance benefit through January. The current provision is set to expire at the end of July. Also, $175 billion in rent, mortgage, and utility assistance. There are other provisions for small business, food assistance, and relief for the Postal Service also included. Republican Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell has taken issue with Pelosi's priority of passing relief for state and local governments, and Republicans are in no hurry to pass further stimulus. And how about this feel-good story? 2 North Carolina teens have launched their own face mask and neckwear company and are now on track to sell tens of thousands in their first month. The 14 and 16-year-old brothers launched CopperSafe in response to the pandemic. They're now in discussion with 2 Fortune 500 companies to make masks for their employees, and several schools are looking to get them with their logos. The pair say the masks are made from copper, a naturally occurring antimicrobial, a self-sanitizing material which has the capability to prevent the spread of infectious diseases. The masks are on sale on their website for $14.99. Some of the sales profit will go to frontline healthcare workers. And that is the market wrap-up. I'm Karina Mitchell.
Tattoo and body piercing shops are set to open this week, but not everyone is too excited to get back to business. We've got more on this story next.
What kind of shortcut is this? I thought you knew LA. I do know LA, but this is Goleta.
This K-Town thing is out of control.
Fires, vandalism.
Any idea who's running this thing?
Whatever this is, it's not over.
Because it's the real story of us. It's the real story of community. I'm Mary Lee Melendez, anchor reporter, Spectrum News 1.
Weather in Ohio is changing all the time.
We get winter one day and 60s the next.
At Spectrum News 1, our goal is refreshingly simple.
We bring you an accurate, reliable, and local forecast every 10 minutes.
We have an incredible, experienced team of people.
We don't just know about the weather, we know about Ohio.
You never have to wait for your forecast with your Weather on the Ones.
Weather on the Ones, every 10 minutes, exclusively on Spectrum. Spectrum News 1, a new kind of news channel dedicated to refreshing storytelling and empowering communities across the Buckeye State. With your local forecast every 10 minutes and all of the essential news you need 24/7. Plus, in-depth shows and exclusives focused on your community. Always Ohio, always refreshing, always on. We are Spectrum News 1, exclusively on Spectrum.
Maybe I'll run for president, maybe I won't, but I will tell you that I'm not going to go away.
I don't think Michigan can become the Michigan of old.
We're probably the first professional sports team in the world that was built by the fans.
We're the biggest ice cream shipper in the nation, setting the standard for American ice cream.
I get to live my dream. I mean, what more could I ask for?
Conversations, Sunday and Tuesday night at 9 on Spectrum News 1, exclusively on Spectrum.
I'm Chief Meteorologist Eric Elwell. I'm going to look at your extended forecast here in just a moment. I think you're going to really like where we're headed after we get through with a chilly night here tonight. We do have frost and freeze alerts out here across northeastern Ohio, just about everywhere, at least under a frost advisory. Mahoning, Trumbull, into parts of Ashtabula County, freeze warning. That's where the actual temperature will be very close to the freezing mark and could cause some problems. So be sure you protect your plants one more day as we get that cold air in place. So after that chilly morning, 37 in Cleveland at 7 a.m., we recover into the middle 50s. Now, near the lakeshore, we'll hold in the mid-50s in Cleveland, up through Mentor and toward Ashtabula and back towards Sandusky. But south toward Akron, Canton, Mansfield, likely we get in the lower to middle 60s where those winds could turn out of the southwest. Jet stream, which has been to the south of us pretty much the entire month of May, is going to shift north. As that happens, we do get more active with the jet stream close by, but that does allow the warmth to push in. What we're going to have to watch, though, is with that jet stream not too far away and temperatures warming up, that increases the instability, increasing our chance for showers and thunderstorms. We'll also have to watch the threat for some severe weather as well as we begin to warm up. We don't see any big signs of that. One night we'll have to watch is, I think, Thursday, perhaps as early as late Thursday afternoon. The other issue, of course, we start to wring out a lot of moisture with the front stuck in the area for a couple of days. So parts of northern Ohio, and in particular the northwest, we're seeing signs that from Thursday through Sunday, we could wring out about 1 to 3 inches of rainfall. Again, we'll fine-tune this as we get closer, but it is what we're going to be watching as we head into the weekend. Now, I think there'll be some dry time there, but Thursday and Friday looking pretty wet, but a lot warmer. Low 70s for highs at that point. Tomorrow, a gorgeous day, just a little cool near the lake. We'll get into the mid-70s again Sunday. A front comes through, so that knocks us back into the upper 60s Monday. But we recover quickly this time, and no threat for frost. We're back in the 70s Tuesday.
Ohio Lieutenant Governor John Huston announcing Tuesday that tattoo and body piercing shops can reopen on Friday. Our Ryan Schmelz talked with some artists and business owners who expressed both frustration and relief.
This is what you'd expect a tattoo shop to look like in the summertime in Ohio. But right now, all you see is closed signs and locked doors.
Man, people are worried. They've taken away 2 months of our revenue for the year. And this is what we just missed out on because of tax season is our busiest time of the year.
Billy Hill owns Envy Skin Gallery in Columbus. His business opened up not long before the 2008 recession, so he knows a thing or two about tough times for a business.
A lot of people were getting laid off, and people didn't have any money, and we were still a very, very new company. I was putting in 6-day weeks, and I had 1 employee at the time, maybe 2, and it was very challenging. But this is absolutely one of a kind. Like, I don't even know what to say about this. This is crazy.
The governor and his administration announced the reopening date for tattoo and body piercing businesses after many in the industry pressed for a set date, a huge relief for many business owners.
It's the extreme stress that goes with that unknowing of, when we would be able to work, how long we'd be out of work, how long we would be able to sustain not having an income. It was all that kind of combined.
Katie Howard and her husband Harry own Revolution Studios in Englewood. They posted a letter to their state house senator and representative and are still concerned moving forward, since the industry doesn't have any representation on the governor's personal services advisory group.
It means people are taking standards that we need to do as my industry without knowing what we do. And I think that's where the misinterpretation, the gray area came from the very beginning with us not being open. So it is very scary because I feel like we're going to be represented by people that don't know what we do in the first place.
Now for many artists, the waiting game is over and the new way of doing business begins.